Yo, what is up, everybody? It's your boy Soto here with Autumn Windbags, back with another one. All right, so the whole NFL basically is at Indianapolis, right, for the combine this week. A lot of stuff going on. The underwear Olympics. I know RG thinks it's stupid, but what's cool about it is you get to kind of get everybody a little bit in between mode, right? It's not the season. It's really not the off season yet because the league year hasn't started. It's kind of like the in between time right now. So it's always cool to get to kind of pick the brains of the people that are building the team that you're going to root for, right? So Ziegler sat down with a couple of reporters and answered some questions. Granted, he didn't say a whole lot, but if you listen closely, you can pull a lot of information from what he did say. So initially, he was asked about, if he was confident that the quarterback of the future is in Indianapolis right now, and this is what he had to say.
I think it's a possibility. There's a lot more work to be done, to be honest with you, to really say, yeah, I'm confident. Where we're at now in the process is we've watched a lot of film on the players, and that's important to get an idea of what the value of the player is. It's a really important part of the process. That position in particular, there's such an emphasis that we put on the neck up and what that is and what that looks like and what it means and how it translates, and you can't get that part off the film.
Yeah, so he didn't say a whole hell of a lot, but he did say actually quite a bit at the same time. Actively looking for a quarterback, the possibility, of course, is a possibility there. What they're looking for, right? They're not just looking for physical traits. You're looking for how well the quarterback processes stuff, how well they learn stuff, how well they can communicate what they've learned. That's a big one because you can be the smartest person in the world. If you don't know how to communicate what you know, it doesn't really help, right? So that kind of gives us a little bit of insight of what they're looking for. Again, does that mean they're going to go after, a guy that late in the draft because he's a really heady guy? No, you still have to have the skills, but it kind of gives you a little bit of insight of what they're looking for through the quarterback position and how they go about their process. So one thing that we're looking at as how do you evaluate the quarterback position as it goes offensively, and this is what he had to say.
Maybe less reservations, but there's the element of just, from the basic, taking a snap under center. And there's a difference when you're taking the snap under center and you're backpedaling, if you will, and processing and making a decision versus just standing there in the shotgun and seeing the ball. There's a difference there.
So a lot of things that a lot of us really don't think of. How does a quarterback, is he able to read defenses turning his back to the play? Is he able to read the defense while he's backpedaling instead of just taking a ball snapped in shotgun? So it does make a big difference. It is a lot easier to defend, and you have to show a lot if you want to vary your attack. If you're always in the shotgun, you're a little bit more predictable in that sense. So yeah, a pro style offense, like when you're under center and you're able to make calls and this and that. Uh, we're heavy in play action, so we need a quarterback that's able to quickly diagnose the defense and know what to do with the ball, because a lot of times they're going to have their back to the defense, and when they flip around, they're going to have to match the snapshot that they see from the last snapshot they had pre-snap. So that's something that's very important to think about. So onto the defensive side, how the defenses have changed when looking for a new quarterback and assessing quarterbacks' talent. This is what Ziegler had to say.
The defenses are different. There's definitely a more complex, I'd say, defensive schematic game at the NFL level. And so, again, that goes just into someone's ability to learn, someone's work ethic, and do they have the tools? And I'd say both from a personal and a mental skill set to put the work in to learn it.
Man, a lot of things that we may not think about. All we would see is the flashy throws and this and that, and those are great. You like to have those out of a quarterback, but if a quarterback can't run a system, if a quarterback can't match up what they see pre and post snap, especially if they're doing a lot of play action and stuff like that, it does make a big difference. And also, the defense in college, they're not as complex as the ones in the NFL. So you have to kind of piece together different plays out of different games to kind of say, okay, this is what he does well here, and this is what he can do well over here. Can he turn his back to the defense? Can he? What happens when he gets fooled post snap? Does he get fooled twice by the same thing? Um, is he able to make? Is he able to correct mid read stuff like that? Is he too quick to pull the ball down and run when there's plays there to be made? I mean, we've had that as happen to us as well. So a lot of cool things to think about, man. Ultimately, we need to know what we want. We want. We'd love to know what Zeigler wants to do ahead of time, right? So this is kind of the thinking going in on how to handle a first round draft pick.
I think, well, in both approaches, on a very basic level, you have to have, to trade up for, specifically, you have to have, obviously, like there's someone that you want to go do that for. And then, you have to weigh the cost of doing business to do that, And so I think what you really have to weigh in those situations is how you value the player and the cost that it's going to take to get that player, because once you move up, typically you're subtracting other draft picks.
Man, it doesn't sound like we're going to be moving up. It really doesn't. It sounds like, if anything, we're going to move back. Like I want to do. I want to move back and get more picks because, I mean, let's face it, we do lack a lot of talent in some key areas, especially defensively. So I don't know that it's really smart to go after one guy when that one guy needs to be developed anyway. Um, I can see going after a veteran player in their prime, so they can help us now and into the future. That's why I think maybe Aaron Rodgers is out because, yeah, he can help you now, but how does that help you build the team around him moving forward? And I think that Ziegler does want to build a sustainable, successful franchise, which is, I mean, well, I think what we all want. Um, when you do draft a young quarterback, there's that fight that you have within yourself because, yeah, I want to win now because I want to keep my job and you're fighting that with, I need to do these things the right way. Now, we've heard from Ziegler to say that he's not going to make decisions based on his job. He's going to make decisions based on what he thinks is the right thing to do. It's great to hear, but there's a lot more that goes into that, and he talks about that right here.
There's a history there of doing that and players having success, and there's also the history of guys getting thrown in the fire right away and it not working out so well. Now there's some guys that have gotten thrown in the fire and taken their lumps and grown. Andrew Luck, I think he led the league in interceptions his rookie year and also went through. And so, yeah, in terms of, to your question, balancing that decision right off winning now. I think it's just a philosophical thing that you have to make a decision on, and you have to be aligned from the top of the organization down. If you draft a young guy,
Really interesting stuff, man. And you know, just like Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face, right? Well, what if we get punched in the face? What if we are 0-3 and stuff like that? And what keeps the organization from pushing that panic button? We're hearing it from the fans. We're hearing it from uh, you know analysts. We're hearing it on ESPN and everything. We're just hearing how bad we are, and it's time to put the rookie in and stuff like that. And that may kind of force some franchises to make a move before they're ready and before they think the player is ready. We've heard how it's possible. Some people have succeeded when they were thrown into the fire right away. I think RJ feels that way. And we've also seen players that have learned for a year or so, and we're much better for it. Josh Allen didn't start right away. Patrick Mahomes didn't start right away. Justin Herbert didn't start right away. But, you have guys like um, Burrow started right away. And I mean, that's really the only one that I could think of that's really killing it right now. Jalen Hurts didn't start right away. So, I mean, there's plus and minuses, right? I mean, Justin Herbert pretty much started right away because he started the second game of the year. But it all depends on the philosophy of the team, like he said. So this is what he said about what to do if maybe things start going wrong.
Josh and I have discussed like kind of what our philosophically what we would like our approach to be on that. There's still more work to be done for me to say, yeah, this is what we're going to do 100%. I'd say we're not there. Of course, we've had those discussions. We've had those discussions over the years, but there is a moment in time here as we're approaching this next phase of the offseason where you have to just make the commitment to what you're going to do if you end up doing that.
Well, I think that makes me feel better that they're going to stick with their plan and execute their plan. I would hate to be very reactive to things and throw somebody in there just because a fan base is impatient or an owner is impatient or they're getting organization is getting a lot of pushback or they're getting a lot of heat from outside sources. Is be all aligned in the whole organization. This is what we want to do. We're not going to put him in until he's ready, but once he's ready, he's going to be full speed ahead. So that's a great thing. That's what I like to hear. And this last question that I'm going to discuss about the interview with Zeigler was about something that I talked about previously about the depth issues on the team. We have pieces, and people like to say, "How can you only win 6 games when you have this player and that player and that player?" Well, when that's pretty much all you have, and everyone else is just scrap heap guys. And I'm not trying to talk bad about our players, but you have to be honest. We are lacking a lot of depth on this team. So this is what he had to say about coming into a situation with issues with the roster.
Well, I think what the situation is. You evaluate the situation before you take one of these jobs, and so what the landscape is and what's missing and what needs to be built. And the reality is that going back to the homegrown piece of the homegrown talent, the situation is what it is, and so now we have to figure out the solutions for it. And the solution is drafting well, and so I wouldn't say frustration or any of those types of things. Like, again, we knew what we were getting into. We knew what the task at hand was, and we've developed a plan to hopefully make decisions that is going to improve the homegrown talent and boost that young core of players that we need, and that's what we're prepared to do.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much says it all. He knew what he was getting into. Josh McDaniels knew what he was getting into. Again, it's a very difficult situation because you are coming into a team that does lack depth in a lot of positions, but you just made the playoffs the year before. You have to swing for the fences, but maybe don't swing so hard where you screw yourself up for a whole lot of years down the road. I think that's what they did. They signed a couple of guys, shorter deals, try to win now, but knowing that there's still going to have to be a long-term plan put in place right away, not just that short term. Were they trying to win right away? Of course they're trying to win right away. Everyone wants to win right away, but you're not going to mortgage your future for right now when you did see a bunch of gaps and holes in the depth of the roster. So, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate it, man. That's my time for today. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your mamas, tell your haters, tell everybody. And in the bottom corner here, hit that little bell, notification bell. So when I drop a video or go on live or we drop a new video together, RJ and I, you guys will be the first one to know. Let me know what you guys think of the video. Until next time, guys, peace.